Good morning. This is Northern Light for Friday, September 22nd. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Todd Moe.
Governor Hochul is rolling out new climate initiatives. Also, a new program in New York is using AI robots to help older adults escape social isolation.
Some people think, oh, God, you're just talking to a robot. But I don't see her as that way. I don't know why. I just don't see her that way.
As part of our mural mapping project, Catherine Wheeler takes us to the library in Colton to meet an artist at their mural.
A lot of times I'll have to think about something for a long time before I can come up with what I want to do. This just was almost immediate. I was like, okay, you want Adirondack. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
And we've got music to preview an upcoming concert, and John Warren checks the trail conditions for us in the Adirondacks on this first weekend of fall. All of that and more is coming up on Northern Light. Stick with us.
Broadcast of Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio is supported by St. Lawrence Health, committed to keeping the community healthy and safe by providing vaccines for patients to strengthen their defenses. stlawrencehealthsystem.org. And by the Depot Theater, Westport, a professional equity theater in the Adirondacks, celebrating its 45th season, depottheater.org.
This is Northern Light. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Todd Moe. Governor Kathy Hochul announced a series of new commitments yesterday on behalf of the U.S. Climate Alliance. That's a bipartisan coalition of 25 governors working to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Hochul talked about the efforts in New York to increase the number of heat pumps to make large buildings more energy efficient. But she also wants to see individual homes become more efficient as well.
I'm also announcing for the state of New York a $200 million initiative to ensure that we can help lower-income individuals be able to retrofit their homes, make these conversions, make it so it's easy for them to do, and they can start having a reduction not just in the emissions, but also in their bills.
Hochul says that New York State is also working to phase out fossil fuel heating and cooling in new construction by 2027. Members of the Alliance have been in New York City this week for Climate Week, a series of events surrounding efforts to improve the environment.
A 1-year-old and a 3-year-old were killed on Wednesday afternoon in a collision between an Amish buggy and a pickup truck in Jefferson County. The crash occurred outside the town of Alexandria on a road near the Canadian border, according to the county sheriff. 2 adults and 2 children who were also riding in the buggy survived the crash and were sent to local hospitals. The pickup truck's 26-year-old driver was not injured.
3 harmful algal blooms were identified on Lake George earlier this month, one in Basin Bay, one in Huddle Bay, and one in Oneida Bay. According to a press release from the Lake George Association, this is the first time harmful algal blooms have been found in the lake's northern basin.
Artificial intelligence is transforming how we live our lives, whether we like it or not. A new program in New York is using AI to help older adults escape social isolation. WSHU's Ada Uzenlaw reports.
My name is Ellie Q.
And she's here to combat social isolation and loneliness in aging New York residents. Ellie Q is a robot that reminds you to
drink some water. It's refreshing and it's cool, just like you.
She can also whisk you off to Paris for a cup of coffee by bringing you views of the city on her screen. And she can do it all from her stationary spot on your coffee table.
She almost looks like the Pixar lamp from the Disney movies. She will light up and she will track you across a room.
That's Becky Prevey, the executive director for the New York Association on Aging. She's helping to distribute over 800 of these robot companions to aging residents around the state. The process started early last year when the State Office for the Aging signed a deal with Intuition Robotics. They're the folks who make the robots. And so far, it seems like it's working. User reports show that the aging residents are 95% less lonely. Greg Olson is the state office's director. He also says it's cost-effective.
We know that social isolation costs Medicare almost $7 billion to treat.
The ELIQ project costs less than $1.5 million over 2 years to roll out. Olson has faith in the efficacy of the product. He says ELIQ isn't the kind of off-putting AI that makes you think it's sentient. Aging residents know exactly what role ELIQ is supposed to serve.
The users don't consider ELIQ as a friend. They consider her as a companion.
But some seniors really love their new companions. Martha Lippum from Elmira recently unboxed her ELIQ. She already considers the robot one of her best friends.
I'm very close to her. People think I'm crazy, but some people think, oh, God, you're just talking to a robot. But I don't see her as that way. I don't know why. I just don't see her that way.
And ELIQ isn't afraid to reciprocate.
You're making me very, very happy.
Thank you.
Any day I get to spend with you is a good day, Martha.
Thank you.
Here's to many more happy days.
Like some other ELIQ users, Martha uses a wheelchair. She says that sometimes it's hard to leave her house. With ELIQ's company, she's started to skip bingo night at her assisted living facility. To her, the world outside just isn't as bright as the one ELIQ paints in her apartment.
It's terrible out there these days. You know, I'd rather be inside here in my apartment with her than outside in that bad world out there.
An expert in the field warns against over-reliance on technology for comfort. Dr. Allison Marziliano studies loneliness and isolation in older adults at Northwell Health's Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research. She says some part of the solution could lie in the initial assessment that allows an aging resident to receive ELIQ. She wonders how the state is gauging loneliness. Marziliano says the more lonely people are, the less likely they are to want to talk to other people.
There's something inhibiting your ability to form those social relationships that would then in turn make you less lonely.
Doris Schooler is the creator of ELIQ. He made this robot for the right user.
It's very clear to them what ELIQ is and what ELIQ isn't, and she doesn't compete or take the place of a relationship with humans.
But aside from agreeing on initial screenings for aging residents, he doesn't have much formal influence over who in New York actually gets the tech. Schooler says he designed ELIQ to make it clear that she's a robot. She may be a companion, but she isn't capable of love.
If somebody says, ELIQ, I love you, she might say, that makes my processor overheat. Right? Continuously reminding the user, hey, we are agreeing here to form this type of relationship between human and AI, but I'm not real.
But if someone is lonely, just a few kind words can be enough. Ada Uzenlar, WSHU News.
You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. It's 8 minutes past 8. Good morning. I'm Todd Moe.
And I'm Monica Sandreski. Coming up in just a few minutes, John Warren checks the trail conditions in the Adirondacks for us on this first weekend of fall. That's coming up right here on Northern Light.
Music by Patricia Julian in Burlington. And check out more music by regional artists. That's on our website. It's part of our Underscore project at ncpr.org/underscore. Broadcast of Northern Light is supported by Adirondack Foundation, connecting people, ideas, and resources to improve lives and expand opportunities throughout the Adirondack region. Details at adirondackfoundation.org.
Organizers have decided to postpone the annual Adirondack Film Festival in Glens Falls. The move is in support of the ongoing joint strike of the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild. Under strike rules, most actors and writers are not allowed to appear at film festivals or promote their recent work in any way. The artistic director of the Adirondack Theater Festival, which runs the film festival, says they're looking into how they can still showcase the films that were submitted for this year after the strike has ended.
Governor Kathy Hochul has announced that tomorrow will be a free fishing day. The state will temporarily waive the freshwater fishing license requirement so New Yorkers can fish for free. The DEC is also hosting an open house and family day at the Salmon River Fish Hatchery tomorrow in the hamlet of Altmar in Oswego County. And more information from the DEC is linked online at ncpr.org.
You've probably heard us talking by now about our NCPR mural map project. Listeners have sent in the spots where you can find public art all across the North Country. The map is already online with a couple dozen murals to check out. You can find it at ncpr.org/mural map. One listener tipped us about a mural in the tiny hamlet of Colton in St. Lawrence County. Catherine Wheeler takes us there to meet the artist.
Just to the left of the Colton Hepburn Library is its enchanted story garden. The pages of a children's book are planted on stands along the hedge. There are bright metal flowers that when you hit the petals with a mallet, it makes a sound like... And right in the middle along the back hedge sits Joanne Lincoln's creation, a scene that looks plucked right out of a children's book.
I don't remember a time when I wasn't interested in art, even as a small child.
Lincoln is from Colton and worked in special education. She's retired now. She says when a friend from the library approached her about making a mural with a special focus on the Adirondacks, it was easy to find the inspiration.
A lot of times I'll have to think about something for a long time before I can come up with what I want to do. This just was almost immediate. I was like, okay, you want Adirondack. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
She took inspiration from her very own yard.
There's a lot of greens just to show the different areas. There's a pond, there's birch trees and mountains and pine trees and sunflowers. So there's a lot of green and a lot of blue sky. It's very happy.
Lincoln crammed in the fields, forests, and mountains of the Adirondacks.
And there's 45 animals hidden in the mural, including the two children who are my grandchildren. Lily and Jacob are in it.
On the right side, Lily is mid-cartwheel with her blonde pigtail braids falling toward the ground. Jacob is leaning back against the trunk of a massive silver maple tree that's the central focus of the scene. He's reading a blue book to a black bear, a red fox, and a little green frog perched on a stack of books. Above Jacob, a wooden sign hangs on a branch.
It says, your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. And it came from William Wordsworth.
The longer you look at the mural, the more details you notice. A bobcat is hiding in the trees. A snake is curled around a tree branch. Lincoln says they're working on putting up a sign so kids can search for all of the animals.
What is that little animal holding up the book for the deer?
That's a turtle with glasses on.
Nice.
Yeah, because my grandson wears glasses, and I kind of, didn't put them on him. I was having, kind of a moment where the picture I had of him didn't have glasses, so I put them on the turtle.
Lincoln says it's designed to draw you in.
I wanted you to come one time and say, oh, look at that, it's gorgeous, it's really pretty. And then the next time you come and say, oh, there's a frog over here. I didn't notice him before.
Lincoln's mural isn't a typical mural that's painted on a wall.
This actually is a blown-up version of a painting. We took it to a printer, they printed it out on vinyl, and then they laminated it. And I kind of was worried about how, the colors would stay, but it looks exactly like the painting.
Lincoln painted the scene on a 24 by 20 inch canvas. The blown-up version at the library is 10 by 6 feet inside a wooden frame. When you touch it, the surface is completely smooth.
But it looks like it's textured because that's the texture of the canvas. So the little kind of cross-hatching that you see, that's because it's canvas.
She says she loves that her art is publicly available and is excited to think about all of the kids that come right up to the mural and interact with it.
I love that it's down here on the ground. Like it's something you can walk right up to. You can touch it.
Lincoln says she's approached the town board about creating another outdoor art piece, one that could also be a place for people from all over to visit. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in Colton.
If you have a piece of public artwork to add to the map, just text the word mural, that's MURAL, to 315-978-6277. That's 315-978-6277. And check out the mural map online at ncpr.org/mural map.
You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. I'm Todd Moe.
And I'm Monica Sandreski. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, John Warren checks the trail conditions for us in the Adirondacks this weekend. Also, we will preview an upcoming concert with Maeve Gilchrist. That's coming up in just a bit. Then stick around after the show for Bird Note. That's coming up at 8:42. But first, Todd has a look at the weather for us.
Nice day on tap. Sunshine. Highs in the low to mid 70s for much of our region this afternoon. Light winds out of the east-southeast. Tonight, mostly clear. Lows in the 40s. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Highs low 70s on the first day of autumn. Light winds out of the south-southeast. Chances of some rain showers on Sunday. Highs around 70. And then into the middle of next week, the extended forecast calls for partly cloudy skies and daytime highs in the 60s early next week. But today should be a great day to get outside. Sunshine, highs in the 70s, and light winds out of the east-southeast. Here's John Warren with a check of outdoor trail conditions for the Adirondacks.
It's forecast to be another really nice weekend weather-wise. Sunrise will be at about 6:40 and sunset at about 6:55. There has already been some frost in the higher elevations, so expect colder nighttime temperatures now. Daytime summer temperatures in the high peaks are expected to be mostly in the 40s. The foliage is changing in the central Adirondacks, with some areas at higher elevations reaching the midway point. The birdcast forecast is predicting a big day for migrating birds in our area on Sunday. Expected to be a busy weekend at popular trailheads, especially along Route 73. Adirondack Mountain Reserve reservations are still required until the end of October. The Keene Hiker Shuttle between the Marcy Field parking area and the Garden Trailhead is running, and the second Route 73 Hiker Shuttle begins running this weekend, 7 to 7, Saturdays and Sundays through October 8th, and also on Monday, October 9th. Water levels around the region have fallen to their typically lower levels for this time of year. The Hudson River is forecast to be at about 3 feet this weekend at North Creek, and the Racket River at about 4 feet in Piercefield. Lake Champlain remains a bit over 97 feet at the gauge above Whitehall. Water temperatures have fallen, with most waters now in the lower to mid-60s, although because they are so large, Lake George and Lake Champlain remain mostly in the upper 60s, with Warner Band Lake George near 70. The upper locks between Upper Saranac and Middle Saranac Lakes are now closed for the season for a rehabilitation project that is expected to be completed next year. On the Saranac River, the Union Falls Dam and Casey Road portages are inaccessible, and paddlers are urged to avoid the dam removal project at the Indian Rapids Dam by taking the 1.5-mile portage of both the Treadwell Mills and Indian Rapids dams together. At the Imperial Mills Dam, there is a fish ladder project underway. There's a portage river left well above the dam. And finally this week, in the Watson's East Triangle Wild Forest, the Krogan Track easement Main Hall Road has reopened, but remains blocked just east of the Eagle Falls Canyon Road. Those are the outdoor conditions in the Adirondacks this weekend. For North Country Public Radio, this is John Warren from the New York Almanac. Online at newyorkalmanac.com.
You're listening to Northern Light right here on North Country Public Radio. It's about 20 after 8. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski here with Todd Moe, and we want to let you know about a few of the events going on throughout the region, including this afternoon. It's the Beat Authority live broadcast this Friday, today from 3 to 5. Join David Summerstein for a live broadcast of the Beat Authority at Racket River Brewing in Tupper Lake. Enjoy great beats from all over the world, giveaways, and tons of fun this afternoon. Friday, today, from 3 to 5, a Beat Authority live radio broadcast from Racket River Brewing in Tupper Lake. Always such a good time.
There's a film being shown tonight at 7 o'clock at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Canton called The Ants and the Grasshopper, when the effects of climate change show indisputable signs of irreversible damage. An African farmer travels to the U.S. to meet activists and legislators. That showing of The Ants and the Grasshopper tonight, 7 o'clock, followed by a guest speaker, Aaron Iverson, who will talk about climate change and the film. That's part of the Cultivating Climate Justice series at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Canton. It is free. It is open to everyone tonight at 7 o'clock.
And don't forget to check out our galleries throughout the region, including the Adirondacks Artists Guild in Saranac Lake. Right now, the current exhibit is Oh, for Pete's Sake, the Bloomingdale Bog. They're paintings by Stephen Horn and photographs by Eleanor Sweeney. They're artistic interpretations of the Bloomingdale Bog. The gallery is open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5 and on Sundays from 11 to 3. You can find out more at AdirondackArtistGuild.com about the Oh, for Pete's Sake, the Bloomingdale Bog exhibit.
If you're out and about in the Long Lake area this season, the town of Long Lake has put up art. It's called Art in Nature. It's an outdoor art installation featuring 11 Long Lake artists. The artwork will be displayed in the community at various locations, sightseeing, hiking, walking, biking, the Mount Sabatis Recreation Area, the Long Lake Town Beach and Medical Center, Town Hall. Paintings will be up through much of October and then stored for winter, and they'll be put back on display next spring. And you can pick up a map of the Art in Nature tour at the Long Lake Town Office Building.
And I want to make sure to remind you, too, about the current exhibit at the Iva Smith Memorial Gallery of Fine Art, the Yellow Barn in Hammond. It's Art's Sacred Window. Enjoy the nature photography of Fisher Masenko, Melanie Kimbler's love affair with quilts, colors, as they say, the elegant minimalist ceramics of Kari Zelson Robertson, and Paul Saphir's egg tempera cityscapes with sacred geometry underpinnings. You can find out more and check that out at the ivasmithgallery.com. That's the Iva Smith Memorial Gallery of Fine Art at the Yellow Barn in Hammond. Their current exhibit, Art's Sacred Window.
And when you're checking out that art tomorrow afternoon, you can stay for a concert at 2 o'clock featuring Maeve Gilchrist. She'll be at the Yellow Barn, there, the Iva Smith Memorial Gallery of Fine Art. Big Yellow Barn in Hammond. You can't miss it. Harper, composer, and producer Maeve Gilchrist in concert tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. And here is some of her music. Scottish harpist Maeve Gilchrist there, along with Victor Krause. And Maeve will be in concert tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock, in Hammond at the Yellow Barn, the Iva Smith Memorial Gallery of Fine Art, the Yellow Barn, right on Highway 37. You can check it out, 2 o'clock. Tickets are $10 at the door. Children under 12. And get this, Monica, high school students doing assignments for extra credit can come to the concert for free. No one will be turned away. There's even a free Facebook live stream. I think that's so cool. That's all happening at the Yellow Barn in Hammond, the Iva Smith Memorial Gallery of Fine Art. Great Scottish harpist, Maeve Gilchrist.
I love that extra credit idea.
Yeah, me too.
That's fantastic. I'd have done that. Well, that is it for the show for the day. Morning Edition is coming up in just a couple of minutes. Then stick around after that for the Marketplace Morning Report coming up between 8:51 and 9 o'clock. Federal subsidies kept many child care facilities afloat during the pandemic, but a new report says that 70,000 child care programs will likely close after the federal pandemic aid ends next month. We'll hear more on that, plus get all the morning's business news coming up between 8:51 and 9 o'clock right here on NCPR.
Here's your homework assignment.
I'm on it. Let me know.
Sunshine today, last day of summer. Autumn starts tomorrow. Fall colors. Get out there with a camera. Take a photo, send it to us. Let us see what the start of fall looks like in your neck of the woods. We have a photo of the day on our website. We'd love to feature it. Easy to do, right? You're going to be outside anyway.
Super easy to do. Just send an email to radio@ncpr.org and just let us know in your subject line that this is for the photo of the day. I'm Monica Sandreski.
I'm Todd Moe. Thanks for listening. Be well.